Hello, my name is Carol Wise, and it is my delight to welcome you to the Laverne Church of the Brethren. We are a community of faith that affirms a wide and welcoming table as we seek to continue the work of Jesus peacefully, simply, and together. If you are in the area tomorrow, you are invited to help prepare meals for Hope for Home, a program that services those without adequate housing in our local communities here. Simply come to the church kitchen at 1:30, prepared to chop vegetables and toss salads in order to feed over 130 people. And now I invite you to breathe in, to relax, and open yourself to the love and care of God as we come together in thanksgiving and hope.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
You are salt for the earth, O people, salt for the kingdom of God. Share a flavor of life, O people, life in the kingdom of God. Bring forth the kingdom of mercy, bring forth the kingdom of peace, bring forth the kingdom of justice, bring forth the city of God. You are a light on the hill, O people, light for the city of God. Shine so holy and bright, O people, shine for the kingdom of God. Bring forth the kingdom of mercy, bring forth the kingdom of peace, bring forth the kingdom of justice, bring forth the city of God. Roar a seed of the word, O people, bring forth the kingdom of God. Seeds of mercy and seeds of justice, grow in the kingdom of God. Bring forth the kingdom of mercy, bring forth the kingdom of peace, bring forth the kingdom of justice, bring forth the city of God. We are a blessed and a pilgrim people, bound for the kingdom of God. Love our journey and love our homeland. Love is the kingdom of God. Bring forth the kingdom of mercy, bring forth the kingdom of peace, bring forth the kingdom of justice, bring forth the city of God. Bring forth the kingdom of mercy, bring forth the kingdom of peace, bring forth the kingdom of justice, bring forth the city of God.
Hebrews 12:1. Therefore, since we are surrounded by such a great cloud of witnesses, let us throw off everything that hinders us and the sin that so easily entangles, and let us run with perseverance the race marked out for us.
Senator Elizabeth Warren is fond of saying, if you don't have a seat at the table, it's probably because you are on the menu. It's an important reminder of what is at stake, no pun intended, when whole groups of people are denied access to tables where important decisions are made or important conversations are held. And in thinking about this, I was reminded of Glenn Guyton. Glenn Guyton is the executive director of Mennonite Church USA, which would be analogous to the position of general secretary in the Church of the Brethren. He often would comment upon the futility of thinking that you could create transformational change when you had the same people at the same table making decisions year in and year out with little variation. So one of the first things that Glenn did when he was named as the new church executive was to convene what he called a future church summit to consider where the church might go. Unlike typical church conferences, to this one, Glenn intentionally invited and welcomed significant numbers of youth, young adults, people of color, non-ethnic Mennonites, and queer people to the table. He asked those communities who they wanted representing them, made the personal contacts, and worked hard to assure that these individuals had the means to come and participate. Well, the conference looked significantly different than most Mennonite conferences, as these young people and people of color and queer people took their seats. After several days of intense table talk and debate and wrestling, the document that emerged from those conversations was truly expansive in its vision. It called the church into new terrain with new priorities and renewed energy. It was transformational. In fact, it was so threatening that the older power base quickly moved to temper and diminish the content by asserting their structural privilege. One white man went to the mic to state that he no longer, quote, felt safe in his church, and then he proceeded to insist upon changes to this document which had already been approved by the body. And what was absolutely incredible to me was that those leading the conference actually began to rewrite parts of this document for this man. So accustomed, I guess, were they to acquiescing to that demographic. The whole event was a powerful lesson in table dynamics and also the possibilities that emerge when new voices and different bodies are present at the table. It was also a lesson in the power of the status quo. This struggle over who is invited to the table and who is excluded is not a new one. The early Jesus communities struggled with this time and time again. In the book of Acts, the question of whether and how Gentiles can be part of the Jesus movement, a movement that originated within the Jewish community, is front and center. Conservative Jewish Christians insisted that Gentile converts would need to submit to circumcision and keep the laws of Moses before they could be welcomed to the table or considered to be authentically saved. As you might assume, there was some pushback to that suggestion. Still others in those times were concerned whether Jewish Christians could legitimately share meals with Gentile converts who didn't keep the Jewish food laws. After all, the laws of Moses prohibited such actions, and these were not minor issues. There were heated debates among leaders and communities and churches that really threatened to split up or destroy this early Jesus movement. Who gets to be at the table? Who do we welcome? Who do we scorn? For the past several weeks here at worship, we have been focusing upon the meaning of table as a place of community, of conversation, welcome, gathering, and nourishment. Considering who is around our tables matters in terms of shaping who we are, what we might become, and how we and others understand ourselves. This morning, we want to take some time to honor and give thanks for those in history who dedicated their lives to expanding the table, to opening access to those who, because of misunderstanding, ignorance, hatred, fear, greed, or ill will, have been excluded or forgotten or relegated to the kitchen. This morning, we want to celebrate those whose passion for justice, whose love for their neighbor, whose courage in the face of barriers, whose willingness to sacrifice, and whose ability to imagine something new, something better, something kinder, has opened up space at the table and made it bigger, more colorful, more brilliant, more interesting, just and humane, more sacred, more like the kingdom of God among and between us. In the book of Hebrews, the author refers to a great cloud of witnesses whose life and presence could offer hope, comfort, and determination to an early Jewish Christian community that was struggling and facing persecution. This morning, we are going to spend some time invoking and inviting a beautiful cloud of witnesses to this, our table, with the hope and expectation that their light, their power, their goodness, their courage, their acts of resistance, and their faith will inspire and guide us as we seek to be lovers of justice and faithful followers of Jesus.
Come walk with us, the journey is long. 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 The journey, the journey, 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 the journey is long.
Share your burden and join in the song.
Share your burden and join in the song. Share your burden and join the song. Share your burden and join the song. The journey, the journey, the journey is long. The journey, the journey, the journey is long. The journey, the journey, the journey is long. The journey, the journey, the journey